Hi, I'm Dan from Isotonik Studios, and today I'm using isolation to set up my ultimate DJ setup, utilising Serato DJ and Ableton Live, and I'm linking them together using the Ableton Link feature so that it syncs together the tunes I'm playing through Serato and then the clips and acapellas, etc. that I'm going to be playing through with Ableton. Now, got a few cameras. We've got the overhead looking at the setup for Ableton, and there I've got two MIDI fighter twisters which are looking after the effects in Ableton. I've got the Allen Heath K1 and K2 which do have clip launching, but I'm primarily using those for the faders, for the volumes for the tracks within the Akai Force, and then I have complete control over my sends and returns for Ableton Live as well. Using the Akai Force over and above the Push 2 at this point, I use the Push 2 for production because it's got no equal. On the other hand, the Akai with its touch screen, which allows me to move around my live set at will, actually shows me the clips that I want to be playing. Now, as Ableton Live itself is here, let's just flick between the two. There we go. Now, if I open up the I/O, my master out, I'm going to configure to use the RANE 72. And I'm going to set that to 5 and 6. Now the reason for that, if I just hide the I/O again, is that when I play a clip within Live, and let's set Too Bad off, it's going to play through the sampler channel on the RANE 72. And that means I can send it to the internal effects, and I've also got the really good quality filter, the low pass and high pass filter of the RANE 72. I also like the fact that I can switch these bottom set of buttons to be mute, solo, record arm and clip stop without taking up any of the extra 8x8 grid for launching things. Now, when it comes to actually using Link, it's very simple to set up. In Live, in the preferences, if we go to, I think it's Link, and you have the ability to show the link toggle and start stop sync, which is on. And with that, you'll see this link button appear. So I'm going to hit link there. Let's just stop the transport completely. And if I start, it's effectively going to be sending the downbeat and the tempo directly into Serato DJ, which I can then set my sync to link. And if you notice, the sync button changes to link. And that means I can then bring these tracks in sync with what's playing in Ableton Live and vice versa. Now, there's a couple of things that I've done, particularly because some of the controls are doubled up on the Allen and Heaths. And the first one of those, if I go into MIDI map mode, is I've actually MIDI mapped the link button. So that's effectively syncing the track that's playing on the right to this button here. And again, the same to this button here. If I want to turn them off, that's a separate button, and I've got those on the push switches for these two endless encoders here. Let's just pull that back. Now, the first thing that I learned, not to my cost, but I knew it from the start, was that this setup was not going to be a plug and play and run out and start doing amazing performances with multiple layers of clips, etc. It's all about the preparation, and that preparation, one, is in Ableton Live, in warping your clips correctly to the metronome so that they at least stay in line and in sync with each other, but importantly, on your beat grids on Serato. Now, the beat grids themselves are available when you, I have to remember this each time because I don't use the key mapping a lot. When you press Option and space on the Mac. I'm sure it's something slightly different on Windows. So the options that you have there in which are available to MIDI map are to set a beat grid, which is the downbeat, and you also have the ability to adjust them either in a large manner or for more fine tuning. Now, the fact that they're MIDI mappable is awesome, and particularly because I don't want to spend a load of time clicking with a mouse preparing the beat grids, and I do want to be able to do it on the fly, if you like. So with the set and adjusts MIDI mapped, if I come out of there, what I've done on the RANE 72 is hold down Shift and Q, and these 8 pads are free for MIDI mapping. And so what I've done is I've set the set to the first pad, the delete the nearest beat grid to the bottom right, and then my adjust large amounts and adjust small amounts. So if I was to start off with a track, and I've got one here which is Love Dancing in the Mix, and let's just remove all of the beat grids there. Hold it to the first as in my first cue point, and I'll set my beat grid, and it's this simple. Now, because I'm probably going to be setting some loops at the start of this track, I'm going to map these quite regularly. And to be fair, when I'm playing, basically if a track isn't gridded, I'll stand there and halfway through the track when I've got my other one queued up, I'll start gridding things as we go. And it's that simple to do. Looking at the waveform as I can on the mix, I'm not sure if it's going to be picked up on this camera. I can also fine tune that. Let's throw it completely off. As you can see there, the beat grids are miles out, so you just keep bringing it back. And of course you can set them whenever you like it. So with my beat grids effectively set like that, that downbeat is going to be transmitted to Ableton Live. We'll just switch back to there for a second. As you can see, it's timing it as if it's going to happen. So we'll keep in sync. We'll start the transport. And of course, now the world's your oyster. I'm gonna have to start reworking my live set so that I've got all of the acapellas that I want.
I got the love in the music. I got soul in the music. I got the love in the music. I got soul in the music. I got the love in the music. I got soul in the music. I got the love.
And to be honest, when I go for the next track on Serato, I tend to mix that manually with beat matching. I'm only really using the syncing to sync up with Ableton Live Link. Maybe one day I'll trust the sync enough to do it mix by mix, but for now, I'm actually like a pig in shit, playing a live set that I've been developing since Live 5, so 10 plus years.
In the music, I got the love. In the music,
And just adding that extra dimension to my live performance.
I got the love. In the music, I got the smell. In the music, I got the love. In the music, let it be. In the mix, coast to coast.
Another couple of days of practicing, and I think Friday night might stream this and join the rest of the world's DJs in putting mixes on Facebook. During this period of isolation, stay home, stay healthy, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Cheers.